that Trent and Jamae have done a great job in terms of improving from spring on to fall camp. But obviously, you got more depth, you got more experience, and that, in the addition of with the addition of Mike Ragone and Charles Brooks. Although, you know, Charles is essentially a basketball player playing the tight end position. You know, he's not comfortable playing from a three-point stance. That's something that we're working on right now in terms of getting him down in a three-point stance, coming off the football, putting his face on people. And in the passing game, he's got a pretty impressive skill set. He catches the ball extremely well, knows how to use his body. He's good at the top of the routes. Just has a knack for getting open. So he's done a nice job in that area. You know, in terms of three-point stance, coming off the football, we got to continue to work that, but we're making progress every day.
Coach Weiss described Mike Ragone as a hungry player, a guy who's had limited opportunities. What do you see in him so far?
There's no question about it. That's exactly what I see. Obviously, Mike, you know, early on we had to shake some of the rust off of him, but since then, you know, he does a great job at the point of attack. His run fundamentals are, you know, you could tell he's played a lot of football, you know, and he's, you know, got a lot of work in that area. In terms of the pass game, he's done a great job in terms of route running and catching the football. And like I said, leadership, he brings you know, an incredible amount of leadership to the table because of all the experience that he has. And, you know, he knows the offensive system. So it's been a great fit for our offense up to this point. And he, like I said, he's hungry, he's ready to go, and you know, he's made progress from practice to practice each day.
As you just said, you know, Charles is taking some time to get him used to being in the stance.
Exactly.
And then you said Ragone's kind of having some trouble breaking the rust off a little bit, or maybe not.
Oh, that was early on. That was early on, you know,
okay.
because he hadn't played since you know, since September.
Okay.
You know, so early on, you know, it was just, you know, and like I said, the offensive system, he hasn't played it in a couple of years, obviously. So we had to break some rust, you know, in terms of getting him refreshed up on the offensive system. But you know, progress has been made, you know, from practice to practice, and he's not. Same with Charles. Charles has made significant improvements from practice to practice.
Well, Coach Weiss, you know, and most of the other coaches too, have talked about we want to get too deep. With the tight end position, is that still the same standard, or did you look at it a little different?
When Coach is making that comment, he's referring right now more to the defensive side of the ball. You know, because of all the personnel groupings and the way we formation things, you know, and you know, that's really what Coach is known for. He wants to get as many people ready on the offensive side of the football so he can formation things and use his personnel groups to kind of move guys around, to put them in position to do what they do best. That's what makes Coach Weiss is you know, that's kind of what separates him from the other coordinators in college football and obviously in the National Football League. You know, so we're trying to find as many guys as we possibly can to be able to play as many different roles as they possibly can.
If you look back at his career at Notre Dame, you know, he threw to the tight end a ton, but he also had Anthony Fasano and Kyle Rudolph.
No question.
You know, two great players. Can we expect that level of tight end integration in this offense, or I mean, what are we looking at in that regard?
Like, as I stated there, we're looking to put, you know, I'll use Trent Smiley for example. Okay, Trent Smiley blocks the point of attack incredibly. He's great at the point of attack, pass protection. He's great with blitz pickup, okay? And is, you know, from a football intelligence standpoint, he does a great job in terms of understanding offense. So we can move him around and play different positions, and that's an example of Coach putting a guy in position to do what he does well. At Notre Dame, he took Fasano or he took Kyle Rudolph, and he utilized them in the passing game because that's what they did well. You know, that's what makes Coach. You know, that's what makes Coach as good as he is. He's very, very creative, very intelligent when it comes to that type of thing.
Gotcha.
And Ragone's a guy who can do both?
Mike Ragone is a guy that can do both. I would say Mike Ragone, Jermaine Mundine, or two of the more complete guys. You know, like I said, Charles Brooks needs some work at the point of attack, but in the pass game, he's going to help us quite a bit. And we got to get him better at the point of attack, and he's working his tail off, and he's doing a nice job in terms of improving from practice to practice. But you know, Mike and Jamae are two of the more complete guys, where Trent is more of a point of attack type of player, blitz pickup kind of guy, and like I said, Charles is more of a pass catching guy at this point.
Is there a way you can incorporate Brooks early in the offense, with even though he is lacking a little bit, and you know, as you said, the point of attack?
There's no question, and it ties right back into what I was kind of talking about there, where Coach likes to personnel group and formation things to put guys in position to do things that they do well. He runs good routes. He catches the football. He uses his body. Like I said, he's a basketball player playing tight end. We just got to get him more comfortable, you know, at the point of attack. But that would be an example of putting a guy in a position where he can take advantage of his skill set.
How did you feel like the tempo of practice was this morning?
I thought, from my perspective, I thought from an offensive perspective, I thought it was very good. You know, these two-a-days, you know, you have to install the night before. So we had not too big of an install, but we had enough formation adjustments and motion adjustments and things that could potentially cause some mental issues out there. But I thought the offense did a nice job of handling it and did a nice job.
Do you think it helps the players now? This is kind of their second day of having 2 practices a day.
Without question, without question. You know, the evening practice, we were a little bit sluggish at times. You know, the first 2 a day, we expect the second practice today to be a lot better off in terms of execution and effort. Yes.
You were pleased with the way the players are with the 2 days that you had mentioned. Are they doing well in this heat, or has that been such a problem, or is it?
It's really not been a problem up to this point. I mean, you got to get them going a little bit, and the big thing is concentration and focus. You know, because we got a lot of offense in. There's big installations taking place. There's a lot of things going on, so we got to make sure that these guys are gearing in and not making simple mental mistakes that they wouldn't typically have if they were well rested and you know, kind of going through a normal one-a-day practice as you would throughout the season.
What's Ragone's personality like?
He's incredible.
Love a character.
Tough guy. Yeah. Tough guy. Brings a sense of toughness to the entire offensive unit. Great leader. And to be honest with you, one of the things that impressed me, you know, coaches are out on the road. Coaches are out, not on the road, but on vacation there in the month of July. Charles Brooks gets here, Jordan Smith gets here, and Mike kind of took those 2 guys under his wing and kind of showed them some of the intricacies of the position and began to teach those guys the offense because they weren't here in the spring. And there's a lot of language, a lot of verbiage that takes place in Coach Weiss's system, and Mike kind of took those 2 guys in particular under his wing. And, you know, when I got here, those first couple of meetings weren't too difficult from a position coach standpoint because they already had a head start because of Mike's leadership skills. But he's incredible, funny, you know, tough guy. He's a great fit for this program.